And I'm back with you guys today, and today we're going to be talking about my Modern Warfare predictions, what I think is going to happen to this game, how I think this game is going to develop over the year. Obviously, I've been playing almost the last 3 or 4 CODs throughout the entirety. I've seen all the development cycles, whether it's a good one, a bad one, a late one, or an early one. And I pretty much know a lot about how the cycle is going to be working. So I'm just going to give you guys my predictions on what's going to happen. I can't say any of this is actually going to happen, but this is what I think is going to happen for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So the thing that is on everybody's mind is Battle Royale, and whether Treyarch's going to continue to support Blackout, or they're just going to hand everything over to Modern Warfare and let them do the Blackout or whatever, you know, Battle Royale they decide to do. I personally think there will be a Battle Royale mode in the game. As you can see when you play matches, you can see somewhat of a compass in the top, and I feel like that's going to be super utilized in Modern Warfare Battle Royale, so it's going to be very interesting how they do that. When it comes to this game, I know one of the bigger discussion points was minimap. I don't think the minimap's going to change from what it is right now in the beta. I feel like it's playing a lot smoother with the minimap, and I feel like without the gunshot blips coming up, I feel like that's actually a really good thing in the game, to be completely honest. I really think that it's going to be really good for just overall skill and how everybody's going to be playing the game. So I definitely think that it's probably going to stay like that. Maybe there'll be a perk or something in the game that will allow you to see gunshot blips, but obviously you're going to have to sacrifice something like, you know, your dead silence or whatever, you know, whatever you other perk that you're going to be running, you're probably going to have to also, you know, substitute that out for your minimap, unfortunately. But it's going to probably be in the game some way or the other. We'll just have to see how that works out. One big thing is also kill streaks and score streaks. I feel like they're obviously going to have a perk to where you can make your kills streaks score streaks, but that's another like sacrifice perk that you could be running. So I feel like that's going to be one of the big things. I feel like kill streaks do add a lot more skill into the game, but it also makes objective game modes, at least in pubs, really, really slow and really, really boring. There have been many times where I've been playing either headquarters or domination or cyber attack, where people straight up are just not going for objectives. They're just going for kills because they want those kill streaks, but also they don't want to die, because then, you know, obviously you would lose your score streaks and your kill streaks if you die in that situation. But they're playing a lot more reserved, which is a good thing. It's going to promote camping a little bit more, but since this game is level development is very open, quote unquote open, to a lot of interpretation, I feel like it won't be that big of a deal. But when kill streaks do happen, you'll definitely be aware of it on the map due to kill streaks, and just like, you know, the potency of that player. Another big thing that I think is going to happen is when it comes to nerfs and buffs. As you can see probably in the beta, out of all of the weapons that we had, we obviously saw a lot of Modern Warfare classic weapons come back, and I feel like assault rifles are going to be very heavily touched and messed around with post beta. I feel like a lot of them were super strong, a lot of them were super weak when it comes to all the weapons, not just assault rifles. All the assault rifles in this game, maybe other than the AK, are really, really good. Even the Odin, the FAMAS, insane weapons. So I think maybe the FAMAS will be nerfed a little bit. The M13 will probably stay as it is. The AK will be buffed a little bit. The M4 will probably be nerfed just a slight bit. And the Odin might be buffed just a little bit too. SMGs also pretty much ran this game. So I feel like they're pretty much all going to get a nerf, every single one of them, even down to the guns that we haven't even used yet. So it's going to be quite interesting how we see there. Shotguns are relatively fun. I maxed out both my shotguns, and I feel like they're going to pretty much stay the same, maybe with a little bit more attachments on some of them, but I think it's going to be fine. LMGs, as you can see, I never played with LMGs throughout this entire beta. That's because they were just complete garbage. They were honestly really, really bad, and I feel like definitely they're going to be touched and nerfed, especially the ADS time, because I think ADS time and reloading times are just way too slow. Imagine for the MG34, like, it's going to be so fucking slow. Maybe the PKM will be good, but these are so slow. I mean, it does discourage a lot of LMG use, but you see a lot more assault rifles come out on the map. When it comes to the marksman rifles, I think the EBR is going to be buffed a little bit. Kar 98 and the MK2 carbines are probably going to be really just like the same. I really like the MK2. I maxed that one out. I couldn't use the EBR for the life of me. Snipers, they have to buff them. They have to buff them. They're just too slow on the ADS, or at least give us good attachments to increase that ADS time. So going to be very interesting. When it comes to the pistols, I feel like the two that we were able to use were pretty balanced. I still think they should buff the M19 to just one more bullet less that you have to put into people, like one less bullet to kill people. Be a really good idea. I'm excited to see what the revolver's like, what the M1911's like, what the Glock is like. When it comes to RPGs, I don't really see anything bad about them. You weren't really using them to kill people. You were mainly just using them to take down stuff, so I thought they were very interesting, stuff like that. I think they'll be pretty much the same. The Deagle pistols will probably stay the same. All the perks, I feel like, are going to be, there's obviously going to probably be more perks, but I feel like some of these will be nerfed. I feel like EOD, Cold-Blooded, and will be nerfed a little bit. Ghost will be nerfed, but all the rest will be pretty much stay the same or buffed. And same thing with Shrapnel and Battle Hardened, I think will probably stay the same, unfortunately, which is okay. When it comes to lethals, you pretty much saw a lot of grenades being thrown, basically because everybody spawns in with 2 nades. I don't really see grenades being too OP in this game, which is good. They're not a bunch of nade spam. I do see tacticals being a little bit abused. The snapshot grenade is very interesting. I used it a lot, and it was actually really cool to use, but I think it is counterable. You can just shoot it in midair before it scans you, which is good. Gas grenade's pretty nerfed already, so it's pretty much just like entry denial for a short period of time, which is good. Smoke nades were alright. Stuns and flashes. Flashes have to be so much more nerfed because they literally make your screen go bright white and you can't see shit. But that's pretty much about it. When it comes to score streaks, I feel like score streaks are pretty much going to stay the same. They're probably going to tweak around with the movement a little bit on some of these weapons, so like the Wheelson and some of the ground war weapons will probably be tweaked out a little bit. Same thing with the gunship and stuff like that. And then field upgrades. One of the big things that I like and dislike about this game is the field upgrades. I feel like some of them are good, some of them are bad, and some of them are just kind of useless, and I feel like it's just extra utility on the map that you don't really need. I understand that most of these maps are bigger and some of these are kind of warranted, but I feel like it should probably take one of your perks, or it should somehow, you know, dissuade some of these things. With that being said, I don't think that they should be changed. If anything, they should be buffed, to be completely honest. Deployable cover is probably the best thing in the beta so far, maybe other than munitions box. I feel like this is kind of like the substitute of operators and, you know, like the characters and specialists and shit like that. It's kind of like the substitute. You can just, one character on your team would run this, one character would run that, stuff like that. Trophy systems and stuff like that would be very interesting when it comes to that. And all of that. This is without the competitive like overview. I'll talk about my views on competitive for this game later. Actually, might as well. It's the predictions video. I think competitive in this game is going to be fucking insane. I feel like the S&D is going to be mind-blowingly fun and so much entertaining to watch. I hope that they keep headquarters in it, to be completely honest. I don't think cyber attack's good for S&D. I think S&D should be one life and you're done. I feel like headquarters would be a really good substitute for maybe a hardpoint. I feel like they should probably keep hardpoint, but they should add headquarters in there too. Kind of like Overwatch, where there's like more than 3 game modes. Obviously, I think you know, hardpoint, headquarters, S&D, maybe capture the flag or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to see, to be completely honest, how it goes. But I feel like it was kind of fun. I like this. Maybe like something like Control. It's kind of like what headquarters is, but I feel like headquarters is definitely a competitive game mode. I feel like it's a really good thing. I think they'll probably change the name of headquarters because I feel like that's just kind of weak for a name. Cyber attack was fun, but I don't think it's going to be in competitive. But other than that, this game's really fun. I really enjoyed it. I feel like some of these guns are going to be really interesting. I can't wait to play all the game modes. Realism sucked. Ground War is just going to get better. When it comes to the rest of the game modes, I think the maps are very interesting. I feel like we're going to get better maps. I think we got one of each of the types of maps that they're going to introduce. So we get kind of like a standard multiplayer map that we're used to, a 3-lane, which would probably be the Azir Cave that we have right now. And then we have like one of the more open maps, which has a lot of buildings in Graz and the Raid, which is technically also a 3-lane map, but a lot of them fuse into each other, so it's very interesting how that happens. And then we have, I guess, one of the little bit more competitive maps in the Hackney Yard, close quarters competitive maps. I feel like that would be a really cool competitive map to see run. I don't know if it's going to be competitive. It might be a little bit too small. We'll have to see how it goes, though. And Gunrunner is another one of those experimentation maps where there's a lot of like leveling and stuff like that when it comes to like floors wise, not like break down walls and shit. So I feel like they experimented with some maps. They hit and sometimes they miss. You know, you can't really knock them too many points for that. But other than that, I'm really gonna enjoy this game once it comes out. Can't wait to put ungodly amounts of hours into it, and I hope you guys do too. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace.